Welcome everyone to the directions of your assignment, Annotations in The Telltale Heart. Now, this is a story written by Edgar Allan Poe, and it's a classic short story. Now, before we begin reading the short story, I want to give you an overview of the unit. Okay, we are in the unit Everyone Loves a Mystery. And the first thing we did in this unit was we read a blast. Okay, you did that with your teacher just the other day. I'm going to teach you the skill of annotation in this screencast today. And then we're going to do some other skills like context clues. We're going to use those skills in our first reading of The Telltale Heart. After we read The Telltale Heart for the first time, we'll do some other skill activities, and we'll do a closer read of The Telltale Heart. After that, we will do some other activities using context clues, and these are all part of our Study Sync skill lessons. And so I just wanted to give you an overview of what the lessons look like and the order that they go in while we are reading this first short story. Okay, so let's talk about the assignment preview for the annotation of The Telltale Heart. Now, you're going to be able to use these directions for any time that you annotate a story within the Study Sync curricular materials. The first thing you're going to notice is just at the top is telling you that you are working on the annotation assignment. Okay, and then what you're going to see next are some labels here. Okay, we've got define, vocabulary, model, and your turn. These are the different steps that you will take as you annotate the story, The Telltale Heart. I also want you to notice over here, we have what we call some scaffold buttons, okay? I want you to pay attention whenever you see these scaffold buttons. I want you to click on them, okay? Scaffolds, that is another word for supports. Not everybody is going to have scaffolds all the time, and not everybody will have the same scaffolds. But when you see the blue tab for scaffolds, you are expected to click on that scaffolds tab because it will give you the extra support that you need. In this case, the scaffold is providing the term, some definitions, and an image. Okay, so make sure that you do click on that scaffolds tab when it's available. So the define page is where you are going to learn about the background information that you're going to need in order to annotate the text. So it's going to give you some definitions. Here's a paragraph that you can read. This isn't the easiest way to learn. What I suggest and what I want you to do each time is watch the video. Okay, so you're going to click on that video. And go ahead and turn this down here.
What colors? Colors. Purple.
Okay, so you're going to go ahead and watch this short video. You can click on closed captioning if you want to see what they're saying. If you would prefer, you may click on a transcript here. And down below, you can see what Angeline and Colin are talking about. Okay. So each time I do want you to watch this short video. You can see this one is just 1:38 seconds long. It's important that you watch that video in the define section. Okay, your next step of the annotation assignment, your second step, is to complete the vocabulary page. Okay, here you have a term and the part of speech and the meaning. So what you're going to do is you're just going to drag and drop, okay? So you can take these pieces right here and just drop them in. Now, these are not the correct answers. I'm just showing you how to drag and drop, okay? But again, you want to read the term that you've learned about through the video, the form, the part of speech, and then when you're done dragging and dropping the correct meanings, you want to save and continue. And that is going to pop you right to the next page, which is the third step called model. Okay, the next page, step 3, is the model page. And what this page does for you is really kind of gives you a checklist for annotation, okay, and shows you some examples to tell you if you are annotating in the correct way. So let's look at the checklist for annotations. Okay, when you annotate, you ask questions, you track information, and you respond to the text. So asking questions about unfamiliar words, confusing passages, tracking ideas and inferences, okay, responding with connections, personal experiences, other texts, history, current events, and then analyzing text using annotations, you might want to consider these following questions. Okay, so really, when you are annotating, you want to be doing these things right here. Okay, if you're not doing those things when you're annotating, you need to come back, reread this checklist, and then up your game a little bit. Make sure you are doing those things. What I really like down here is they provide a skill model. Okay, so it's really annotating as a way of having a conversation with a text. And here they show you some examples. Okay, so here's what the student did in this example. They highlighted the word hearken and then they wrote a note. This is the annotation right here. This note is the annotation. The student wrote, "What does this word mean?" Why the exclamation point in the middle of the sentence? Maybe he's saying, "Hear me out," to whoever he's talking to. And then down below, it gives you an explanation as to what the reader was thinking and why the reader made that annotation. Here's another annotation model, okay? It's impossible to say how first the idea entered my brain, but once conceived, it haunted me day and night. Again, here is the reader's annotation. This is what you're going to be doing. They're thinking, they're questioning, their inferences as they read the text. And then below, a little bit of an explanation. Here's another example, okay? So I also want you to notice there is a scaffolds button. Whenever there's a scaffolds button, you need to click on it because that is a support that will help you. Here in this scaffolds button, we find some directions for annotation, simplified a little bit. And then what I really like is they give you a support. They give you some speaking frames. So if you're not sure how to start your annotation, um, here's something you could use. You could highlight something, and then the highlights in paragraph 2 indicate, and you could explain. You could say, I'm using this annotation to show or to question. Okay? And then here's another example of an annotation with the hearken. Okay? So always use those scaffolds whenever they are available. Now, some of you who feel really comfortable with annotating, you're not going to spend a lot of time on this model page. Some of you who feel less comfortable with annotation and you need some examples, you will spend more time on this page, and that's okay. This is for you to judge your comfort level with annotations, and the models are right here for you when you need them. Okay, so the last part, part 4 of the annotation assignment is your turn. Okay, this is, you want to read the instructions above. Okay, so it says, while reading The Telltale Heart, a student carefully annotated textual details in which she asked questions, tracked the development of characters and plot, and responded with personal and textual connections. So what you're going to do down below, here's what the student read. Okay, and then she made some annotations. Okay, so she looked at the word, she highlighted the text, dissimulation. And then her annotation was, what does this word mean? Maybe it means well planned because the narrator is using it to describe the process he goes through to enter the old man's bedroom. Okay, so what is she doing? I would put this in the ask questions category. Okay, read the next one. There's a highlighted text and then the annotation. I can't believe he's laughing about this. This thought reveals that he is a disturbed person. Is she tracking or is she responding? Okay. At the bottom, when you are finished, you're going to submit the assignment. Okay. And since this is not a real assignment because I'm the teacher showing it to you, I don't get a score, but at the end, when you submit your assignment, it will tell you how many you got correct. And so you will have a score, immediate feedback on your assignment. Okay. So there's really not a whole lot of work to this assignment. You just need to go through the steps, the define, the vocabulary, the model, and the your turn, and remember to use those blue scaffolding buttons whenever you see them. As always, if you have any questions at all, or if you just feel stuck, ask your teacher. We're here to help you, and yeah, just don't be afraid to come to us. We can help you.